But in the second year, when I joined the mechanical engineering department, I got wings. I literally said I got wings because the mechanical engineering department provide a lot of opportunity to grow, to expand my wings out there. And in the academics, I joined Ashwa Riders at that time during the second year. And in the third year, I was CR. In the fourth year, I was CR. And at that time, I was also the administrative head of the team Vector Racing at that time, which headed the MBA for the first time from the college. And in 2016, I passed out from the college and I started my preparation for the UPSC. So it was not my childhood dream to be there as a IS or something else, but it was during the engineering I decided to go for the civil services exam. And the preparation started in September 2016 to be precise. I joined one of the coaching in Delhi, and in the initial years I struggled a lot. Because shifting from mechanical engineering to something like geography, the subjects of humanities are very different from the engineering background. So it was a huge journey, it was a difficult journey for me, and I failed a lot. So it is not a motivating speech, I will say, but it is a story of continuous perseverance, the mistakes which I made and how I cope up with that mistakes. It is a story of that. So in 2016, I appeared for my first attempt. I failed because I was not prepared. In 2017, I appeared again with all the coaching material I had. I failed again. In 2018, I failed again. In 2019, the exam consists of two papers. One is GS and another is CSAT. CSAT consists of English, reasoning, maths, like that. So I failed in that paper also in 2019. So it was very shameful for me to be failed in paper like CSAT, since I am an engineer. And in 2020, I came back home from Delhi. And at that time, I relaxed during the COVID time. And I prepared a lot at that time. I used to study almost for 10, 12 hours a day. And fortunately, I cleared my preliminary exam for the first time at that time. And I appeared for the mains. So in UPSC exam, there is one subject called optional subject. So I have chosen geography as my optional. So in that optional paper, I realized that geography is not working for me. I changed my optional from geography to anthropology. So you might be hearing this name anthropology for the first time in this session. So I started preparing for that subject, and I appeared for the pre and mains, and I cleared the mains. I went for the interview, but in the starting phase of the interview, the chairman asked, what you are doing since 2016, since it was almost 6 years from my graduation. So I told the ma'am that I'm preparing for the exam only. She was like, who is supporting you for the exam? I said, my parents are supporting. And she said, very good at that particular moment during the interview. So that was very disappointing for me. I felt very bad that how a person can say that to me, and I went blank on that particular interview. And I scored very less. Then in the next year, 2023, I appeared again. I cleared the pre, I cleared the mains, I appeared for the interview, but I could not make to the final list. And that was very disappointing for me because it was a huge failure for me. I was failing from last 7 years, and it was again a failure. So I started preparing, because what happened, the final results were declared on 23rd of May 2023, and the preliminary exam was on 28th of May 2023. So it was a gap of just 5 days, and I had to cope up with all the failures, and I had to appear for the exam again. So I somehow managed, and I cleared the pre again. I appeared for the mains. I cleared the mains, and I finally cleared the interview this time with the rank of 963. So during this journey, I realized one thing, that the failures are common in life. They are most common. They will be there after this graduation phase. You might be enjoying your 6th sem in a very fun way, I'm saying. But after completing your graduation, you will be in a different mode. You will be facing a lot of challenges. The people will judge you at that time that what you are doing. So I have not made a speech, but I have some recommendation for you guys. First is enjoy your college life. Because after completing your college, you will be not getting friends like you will have in the college. You will have colleagues. Secondly, identify your own interest, as in what you would like to do in your future life. Because most of you who have joined this engineering institute are not sure about their future, what you will do. You might be discussing that you will do MBA or something like that, but I will suggest you to identify your own interest and pursue that interest in future. Secondly, focus on soft skills. I still remember Saji Varghese sir used to teach here us the functional English subject at that time. So we used to ignore that subject very honestly, and I felt that that was a particular subject which would have been a turning point in my life. So focus on soft skills. Go to your home and research on what are the soft skills. Maybe it's public speaking skills or basic communication skills. Focus on that. And uh, the college provides large opportunities through various activities. I was member of Baha for almost 3 years, and the experience I got during that time is of no match. Engineering is on the one hand, but the experience I got during that particular event, I was the administrative head, so the documentation part and the finance part was under me. So I had to go through all the administration for all the necessary requirements. So I felt that that was the kind of experience one should have during the engineering life. And one more thing is there, never carry a complex that you are not from a IIT or NIT. Because I have observed that people from local colleges like this, we used to carry that complex that we are not from a good college, and we feel very inferior to others. So don't feel that complex at all. And lastly, um, the engineering is good, the academics is good, teachers are good, but after this engineering, you will face a lot of challenges. There will be no one to spoon feed you, so be ready for that. And I'm telling you that enjoy your life right now. After 2 3 years, you will be missing this. I'm coming to college after almost 6 years, so I'm feeling very happy to be here. I'm feeling to see the faces of my teachers, which used to teach me at that time. I still remember all the faces. I still remember their names, the subjects which they taught us. So enjoy this life, and be particular about your goal, what you want to do in life. If you want to pursue the civil services preparation in your future, start preparing from the third year onwards. Don't wait for your graduation to be completed, because that will be a setback for you, because there are people from the humanities and other colleges which have already started the preparation for their civil services exam. So I will suggest that you should focus on your goals from right now itself, and don't wait for a particular moment that this moment will come and I will start doing something else. Don't wait for that moment, and identify your own interest. I'm telling you because this thing will lead you to the higher levels in the future. Okay. And honestly, I have not prepared any speech because I'm not a good at it at all. Because something and I want to share my experience that why I wanted to be a civil servant or a IS officer. It is because of my school. If you guys know, there is one school called Saraswati Kisan Vidyalaya in the Buttiburi village. It's a small school which I have done my schooling from there. It was a semi-English school. So when I came to college for the first time, I realized that there is a huge mismatch between the personality which I should have during that time. I still remember Satish Kene sir was taking the first lecture and he was asking us the introduction, and I introduced myself in Hindi. So that was very disappointing for me that why I am not introducing myself in English. So that was the reason I wanted to join civil services and do something in the education sector. That was my prime motivation for the civil services exam. So you should identify your that motivation and interest and go ahead in your life. I'm extremely sorry I'm not good at this speech delivering, but whatever I have done during my 6 or 8 years, I'm just telling my experience. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
If any of the students have any questions for Shubham, please feel free to ask. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, yes. Actually, I never thought of failures as my failures. I kept them as my lessons, from which I improved in every attempt. So when I failed in pre, I improved on that. When I next time I failed in mains, I identified the loopholes which are there in the preparation, and I improved on that. This way, I keep myself motivated. And frankly speaking, I was in the good company. I was in the company of good people. My parents were there for supporting me. My friends were there who were very positive about my preparation. So having a company like that also helps in keeping that motivation. And lastly, self-motivation is the thing which is needed. So for that, I think the strong reason for the preparation of UPSC exam is there. So that was the reason. Okay. Anyone else?
Can you just give brief about the pattern of UPSC exam? Because
Yes.
many students may not be knowing about that particular pattern.
Okay. So UPSC exam has three phases. The first one is preliminary exam. In pre-exam, there are two papers. One is GS and other is CSAT. This exam is qualifying in nature. The GS paper carries the subjects like history, geography, economy, current affairs and all. And it is a paper of 200 marks on which you have to score around 90 to 100 to clear the cutoff. The second paper is CSAT. CSAT consists of English, reasoning and maths. It has 80 question and it carries 200 marks. It is qualifying in nature and you have to score 66 marks out of 200 to qualify that particular paper. And coming to the mains part, mains paper has 9 papers, each paper of 3 hours, and the subjects of humanities are there, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, and optional subjects like there are 24 subjects which can be taken as optional. So I chosen my optional as anthropology. Mechanical engineering optional is also there, electrical engineering optional is also there. And apart from that, one essay paper is there, and also English and Marathi regional language papers are there. So total 9 papers, which carries around 750 marks, 1750 marks in total. After clearing the mains, there is an interview of 275 marks. So the total of interview and mains is of around 2025 marks, from which you have to score around 50% to be in the list. So that is the basic pattern of the exam. The pre and mains exam can be taken at any center. The interview happens at the UPSC Bhavan, which is in Delhi.
What were the different questions asked to you in this last interview?
Okay. Sir, during this last interview, the majority of the interview was on the Nagpur itself. So, sir asked me why there is industrial developmental disparity between Nagpur region and Mumbai and Pune region. The second question was why Nagpur is the geographical center of India. How is the rainfall in Nagpur? Why Nagpur doesn't have Nagpur has so many of the tiger reserves, but tigers are not there in such tiger reserves. So majority of the questions on that part. One of the member asked me about the anthropology. In anthropology, one of the topic is tribal India. So he gave me a situation-based question that you are an administrator of a tribal area, in which you have to launch a scheme called Mission Shubham. So what steps can be done to improve the livelihood of these tribal people? So that was the question. And the last member, the ma'am asked me about my hobbies, which is cooking and gym. So she asked me how yoga helps in keeping oneself physically fit, and she also asked me that whether I watch a mastership program or not. And one of the question was what kept me motivated, just like he asked, what kept me motivated during this preparation, and what was the reason of this preparation, why I wanted to be civil servant. These were the major questions asked during that interview. It was majorly a communication rather than an interview, I will say, because the interviews which are there on the YouTube are quite difficult, I will say. The mock interviews are quite difficult as compared to the real interview.
Percentage wise, how many number of student appears for UPSC clearing prelims, then clearing mains, and then reaching to the interview?
Okay. Sir, around 10 lakh people applies for the exam. Out of that, 5 lakh appear for the pre-exam. Out of that, 15,000 appears for the mains. And out of that, around 3,000 appear for the interview. And out of those 3,000, 1,000 get selected. So 0.01% is the percentage success rate, I will say, for this exam.
You are in that process.
Yes, sir.
Really proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Not related with your profession.
Yes, sir.
We have seen the life of an aspirant through the movies Aspirant, Sandeep Bhaiya and SK sir. So how do you correlate yourself?
Actually, sir, till last year I was.
You manage that emotional
Yes, sir.
roller coaster.
Yes, sir. Till last year, I was about to be the Sandeep Bhaiya because I was the one who was guiding other people during the preparation, and I was about to reach that point, but somehow I cleared. But I will say the movies which shows the things which are shown in the movie are to a greater extent are similar. The kind of struggle every aspirant does during his preparation is of no match. You guys not me studying for 2-3 hours, but honestly I will say people who are out there, they study for 12 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours every day, and they are doing it for 2-3 years continuously without having any regrets that they are not keeping their social life intact, I will say. Thank you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shubham. I am sure that your story will motivate many of the students who are gathered here today, and it will inspire them to take the path that you have chosen. Now I request our principal, Dr. Surendra Goyal sir, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon to all of you. Today's celebrity Shubham, his proud parents, Director Father Paul, HODs Sushant sir, faculty members and dear students. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Shubham for getting selected in a very, very coveted examination and then bringing laurels and proud to the entire institute. I also congratulate the parents, those who supported him in a very, very difficult times. Again, many times, quick suggestions normally come from the parents. If you are not able to do it, drop it, go somewhere else. And that is the obvious prompt from the parents which can distract an individual who is concentrated and directed. With whatever experiences he shared about the institute, it reminds me about one statement made by a person. He said the quality of association is more important than the duration of association. He spent 4 years on the campus, but then he said that the quality of association was such that when he entered second year in mechanical, he got triggered and he could see that he got a platform, right platform to get groomed. And he confesses very honestly that he never had an aspiration to become engineer. He never had an aspiration to become IAS officer, but it happened. So the achievement motivation comes when you are exposed to the right type of platform. When he was administrative head of that particular Ashwarada group, and he was required to take care of all the things, then he realized that how difficult the life is. That when you are zooming on one technological aspect, you almost get defocused by managing other things. And then when you manage other things, then you say that no, you are judged on the technological advances. If you are weak there, nothing will be counted. I think these experiences will come to his rescue when he will be actually professing his job. He will realize that how difficult things are there around us. But then, if you are really charged and motivated, definitely you can achieve your goal. I am really happy that Department of Mechanical Engineering really allowed him to groom, allow him to teach one specific thing, which I should say perseverance. Rather than the success, how consistent you are in efforts and what type of perseverance you exhibit till you reach success. Don't give up, and then that's how we can get today's success. Friends, he should have expanded on his experiences little more. I was expecting the humanities subjects which we thoroughly ignore during engineering, they only come to rescue during the UPSC examination. And then humanities subjects are not that hard to learn, very easy to learn, but we have adapted ourselves to engineering learning to such an extent that we become incompetent to learn humanities subject. Otherwise, humanities subjects are very interesting. But then we have prepared ourselves in such a way that no, technology is more important, technology is more important. And we go away and away from the human life. And for IAS, the entire central government authorities feel that person may be from any discipline, engineer, doctor, lawyer, anybody. He should be closer to human being, not get lost into the technology or the specialization. He must be reminded continuously that his specialization only exists for service to humanity. And if humanity component is missed, the specialization in itself doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, you will find so many extremists are also there. They are expert engineer. So expertise in engineering doesn't make any sense unless you have a touch with humanities. And therefore, I expect Shubham in his career to contribute substantially toward the humanity. As being engineer, it is going to be very handy for him because engineers have very good perspective of looking at anything and everything in a logical framework. And then always they will look for cause and effect relationship. And they will always try to relate between the input and output, and the closed loop negative feedback, they will go for it. And they will see to it that by giving a proper feedback of output, input and processing can be altered and we can reach the desired output. Now these concepts of logical thinking definitely are helpful in public life as well. You try to go for something, some means, some project, some campaign, it doesn't work according to what you thought. Then you need not give up. You have to just look into the cause of it, what you thought of during design and planning, what went during the implementation, and what corrective measure you can make it so that in subsequent projects you will definitely not have the failure. Once again, on behalf of the entire college, students, staff, management, I would like to congratulate Shubham and specifically his parents, because the struggle which the parents have during the preparation time, he might be preparing, he must be preparing at Delhi, but the parents are always looking at that, isn't it? And people say, it reminds me a small story which I will narrate in 2 minutes. All of you must have enjoyed the kite flying. Kite goes up, goes up, goes up. Everybody enjoys and then they clap standing on the earth, they keep on clapping. Every inch raise of the height of the kite is being proudly enjoyed by the people below. Just imagine when the thread is cut. The kite goes further high, but the height loses relevance and people say that patang chatar gayi. That means misdirected. And therefore, so long as people are having the thread in a hand, that means somebody is concerned about your height has relevance. Height in itself is irrelevant. And therefore, the moment you lose relationship with the earth, perhaps your height relatively loses entire importance. If all of you can keep this in mind, see to it that always take care of the people, those who are concerned about your progress. Always take care about the people, those who are bothered about your goodness. If you do this, I think success will be yours. Once again, congratulating Shubham and his parents. I also request all of you, when you go out of this hall, take a small trigger of inspiration. Okay, 4 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line, I should be on the stage getting felicitated with my parents for some great achievement in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your views. I request our director, Father Dr. Paul, to please address the gathering.
Actually, this was not in the schedule, but then I felt inspired to speak a few words. In fact, I am meeting Shubham for the first time. He passed out before I came in. But what is most inspiring is the story of Shubham's achievement. Failures became the stepping stone for him. 2 failures, 3 failures, 4 failures just did not deter him. And remember, Indian Administrative Services examination is one of the toughest in the world, not in the country. It is not meant for any Tom, Dick and Harry. It's only meant for people who are willing to invest talent and time and energy. 14 to 18 hours you will have to study daily, no holidays in between, and not just for 1 year, not for 2 years. A reasonably good preparation will take at least 3 years. Otherwise, you will experience failure more often. I'm saying this for the sake of those who are aspiring for this sort of UPC examinations. I'm sure there are many of you who have the stuff, but you will have to bring out determination, perseverance, single-mindedness, application of head and heart. These alone will lead you to that success. And remember, IAS examinations cover everything under the sun. The syllabus is anything under the sun. And also, a matter of consolation is that 95 or 98% of those who cleared these examinations have failed at least 3 to 4 times. This is also important to keep in mind. I am saying this for those who are aspiring or trying to, putting your hand at it. So be prepared, those of you who are, but at the same time, don't be discouraged. Those who really like to follow this path, come on, take up the challenge, and then be prepared for the hard work, for the long road and the struggle. Thank you. And I wish that Shubham comes to Nagpur as the district collector and rule over us. Shubham, I wish you all the best, and I'm sure you will be kind to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. I request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. Jana Gana Mana. I request the management and faculty members to stay back for a photo session.